Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 0 of GHK Radio. I don't want to call them guests because they're not. We're all equals here. They're all part of the name, right? The G stands for girl, as in girl DM.
Hello.
The H stands for Harune. I almost said the H stands for Kai, but that's not true.
No, you're Harune.
You know, co-host is a word. Co-host is still a word.
No, it's our guest Kai.
Yep. Hello, I'm only here for episode 0. Yep, goodbye, friends.
Yes, and then the K stands for Kai. There's no Nemurenai part of Kai anymore. It's just Kai.
No, he's been cut off.
He's been shortened.
Yep. Great start. That was a start. That was a start indeed.
It's episode 0. Yeah!
Pachi! And thank you all for listening in for the very first time. Because we don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, welcome. This is episode 0. We don't know what's gonna happen. But you're here, so that's good.
Well, yes, I am here. That is quite good, isn't it?
We're really glad you're here, Kai.
Yep, we're glad you're here, Kai.
Thank goodness you're here.
And the audience is happy you're here, too.
The podcast is saved. Alright. So, I think we had, like we said for the first episode, like we didn't really have like one central topic we were going to go over. I think the format we're trying for this first episode is we each prepared kind of a small topic, and we'll just kind of, shoot the breeze as we go, see how things go.
Yes.
Yes.
That's good.
Yep.
But here, first, I thought maybe we should just I was going to say melt the ice. That's not a phrase. Break the ice just by warming up conversation, right? So just how'd you guys how was your day? How'd you prep for today?
How was my day?
Why are both of you laughing?
I played a horror game. That's what I did earlier today.
Nice.
Yeah, I was playing Dead Space, and I haven't played a horror game before. So, yeah, if you've never played a horror game before, Dead Space is really intense to be your first game of choice for that.
Yeah, I remember seeing your first episode of that, your first stream from that.
Yeah.
Man, that was exciting.
Yep. And I have a Bluetooth heart rate monitor band that I have to wear that is fairly accurate. So it's pretty funny, looking at some of the clips and seeing an alien jump out, and my heart rate suddenly jumps 20 beats per minute. Fun times.
Take care of your heart.
I just realized being asked what I did today makes me sound like a real bum. I got kicked out of bed so I could play Mahjong. I took money from my brother because I won at Mahjong. And then we went for chimek, which is chicken and beer.
I love it.
I mean, that sounds like a good day to me.
My whole day has just been gambling and then Korean fried chicken.
Wow, sounds like a good day. What, you are a member of society
by totally legal means.
Yep. I just sound like a bum. I sound like a Korean uncle. I'm such an ajusi.
Ajusi. How about you, Harune? How about you? How was your day?
I was both productive and a bum. I woke up at 2 p.m. Yeah. What is with that reaction? Both of you.
Well, no, because I saw Girl DM. She tweeted out, it's slept in today, but that was
I woke up at 11 o'clock my time.
Yeah, I got kicked out of bed at 1, but you got me beat.
I don't normally sleep until 2. I don't even usually allow myself to sleep in that late because I know that I have things to do. But today I just could not wake up. So I got up finally at around 2. I had lunch. And then went grocery shopping, came back, made curry, and then prepped for stream. So I know it doesn't sound like much. That was 4 things maybe I listed off, but I felt so productive after I woke up. I was I've made up for my bumness from this morning.
Grocery shopping is one of those things that when I finish it, I'm like, oh, heck yeah, adulting. I went grocery shopping.
Exactly, because it's not even just like you buy 1 or 2 items, right? It's like things you need for the week or things that you've run out on that you like need to replenish and stuff like that. So like going there, buying the groceries, waiting in line for checkout, bringing it to your car or bringing it back to your living abode, right? Putting the groceries away. That's a lot.
It is a lot. There's a lot of work that goes into grocery shopping.
Yeah, not having a car is the worst. It's just carrying all the groceries back home. Even though the groceries, down the street. It's not far, per se.
That's why I've got a bicycle.
I don't know how to ride a bike, so,
That is a topic we have to we're gonna have to address.
I want to interrogate Kai on that.
We have prepared topics. I don't know what you mean. We have prepared topics, and nobody brought up the topic. Hey Kai, why don't you know how to ride a bike?
I'm changing my topic to why Kai doesn't know how to ride a bike.
How to teach someone through audio only how to ride a bike.
I'll teach Kai how to ride a bike. I'm looking.
All right, and thank you everyone for joining us for episode 0. See you all in 2 weeks.
Show is done. Good night.
That's too short. That's too short.
Right. It's literally been 6 minutes.
It's not. You can't.
Well, stop trying to drive me away after only 6 minutes.
No,
pull your punches a little, please.
I'm trying to improve your life by teaching you how to ride a bike so you can get more groceries. Think of all the lemons you could buy.
True. You do need more lemons to chuck across your room.
Exactly.
That's a reference audio listeners will not get at all. Thank you for that.
That's true. If you check Kai out on his Twitter, was it at Nemurenai Kai?
Yeah.
How about we do the plugs at the end? How about we do the plugs?
Okay. But faithful listeners, you better heckin' listen in and then go to Kai's Twitter after all this is done, just so that you can like see the visual gags and pun videos and not really puns, but just visual gag videos that Kai has done. They'll make your day.
Kai, you're so stiff. Relax a little. You can move. You're allowed.
I'm trying really hard not to. My chair is so squeaky.
Just move. I would like to also add on to my topic about Kai's chair.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to add that. Is that acceptable?
Yes. The committee approves.
I didn't know. Man, I didn't know this was a roast. I didn't know. All right, we're starting off with a roast then. How do we want to do this, by the way? Do we want to go, like, down the line, GHK, or down the line sitting order? Like, how do we want to do...
I just figured whoever feels like going first. I have a feeling, so, like, before we started, we kind of just gave a little crumb of each of our topics. Girl, I feel like yours is the lightest topic.
A crumb.
A smidgen.
Crumb.
And Kai's, I think, will occur the most discussion. The most takes, you could say.
The takes. We're ready for the hot takes. Welcome to Drama Alert VTuber edition.
Isn't that why people listen to podcasts? They want the host's hot takes.
I'm ready to see Kai get roasted.
This podcast is one take for me. I'm doing all this in one take. I'm not restarting this recording. I don't know what you mean.
Wow, one take? This is amazing, Kai. Good job.
This is a singular take.
0 editing. Uya's got no work to do. We're good.
You're bullying Uya now.
That's fine.
Uya, our faithful fox above producer-san. All right, so girl, would you feel like going first, or I guess it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. So my topic pretty simple here. Snacks.
I'm digging it. I'm in it.
Snacks.
Of course you would be. Granted that Harune's here and we're talking about snacks, I don't think it's much of a light topic anymore. But
stop.
But the main thing about snacks is, like, sometimes you have a snack that you really, really enjoy a lot, and then sometimes you're just like, no, this is not the proper time to eat that snack.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have, like, any similar things? Like, for me, if it's, like, late at night, I want chips. Like, I want Pringles, I want Lay's, I want dip. It's, like, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. I have manga up on my screen. I'm reading. I'm like, you know what? It's chip time. It's chip and dip time. But otherwise, I don't really want, like, the chip and dip too much because it's like, it's greasy, blah. But if I'm reading, like, shoujo manga, it's like, it's chip and dip time.
That's right. It almost seems like when you're distracted, you like stop caring about how healthy the food you're ingesting is, and you're just like, I just want things that are easy to pick up and insert into mouth with like zero preparation.
Yes.
I'm with that.
I think on my case, it's like I treat snacks more like as a relief for oral fixation. Like I just like when my mouth needs to be busy or something. So like a big bowl of like chips or popcorn or something that will last a while is like if I know I'm going to be sitting here doing the same thing for a while. Like I'm watching a movie or maybe I'm doing work, typing up emails or whatever. Then having something on the side that'll keep me busy. Like I eat it just to keep myself busy. But whereas if I actually want a snack to enjoy, like I'm winding down for the day, this is my treat for myself. Usually those are like quick 1-2 bite kind of snacks, but are more flavorful, if you know what I mean.
Interesting.
なるほど. I'm still trying to like wrap my head around the idea of oral fixation, just because like for me, and I know it's like, it might be a hereditary thing because I know Mama Rune does the same thing, but like when we are doing anything visual related, we want to do something physical to feel fully engaged. So like when I'm reading, or especially if I, when I was like back in college when I was doing homework, right, or studying or something, I really wanted snacks, and it really didn't matter what, like, it didn't have to be something greasy, it didn't have to be popcorn, it didn't have to be chips and things like that. I just wanted something to hold in my hand occasionally, insert into mouth occasionally, chew occasionally, right? So, but then I realized, it could have been anything. So, like, I switched snacks for fruits. So, like, just before this, like, as I was setting up, I had, like, a big bowl of frozen blueberries next to me.
Yeah.
Because it was something physical while I was doing something mental.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
No, yeah, I get it. It's like you don't want to sit there and have the disconnect of you being stagnant while you've got all your synapses firing, your like imagination's running wild, whatever it is you're reading, you're engaged mentally. You just want physical activities so you're not like, just sitting there.
See, I'm completely different on that. If I'm very like visual on something, like if there's like a show I'm watching, or if I'm watching someone streaming, or if I'm watching a movie or something, it's really hard for me to eat while that's happening. So like if I'm like watching a movie or something, if it's in a movie theater, then yeah, popcorn, it's kind of like, I don't know, what is that, when you're conditioning to be like, oh, movie theater, popcorn. But if I'm like watching anime at home, or I'm watching YouTube at home, I would much rather have something to drink.
Yeah, I get it too. Yeah.
So I'll have like, I always have one of those, the giant like Slurpee cups?
Yes.
I always have one of those full of water.
Oh,
I know,
that's
more
not where I
disappointing.
thought that was going.
I know. I have a fancy one. Okay, my favorite Overwatch team partnered, and they had giant Slurpee cups with the branding on it, so I have one of those. But I have one of those full of water, or I make my own fruit syrups, and I have a soda stream, so I'll make myself fruit sodas.
Ooh,
or
fancy girl.
Or I'll put alcohol in, depending on if I'm gaming that night or not. But I'll always have like water in that big cup, and then I also have like a 2-liter glass bottle that I fill with water as well, because I want something to drink, not necessarily something to eat. The snacks are only at like a specific period of time where I'm like, I would like to munch on something now.
Yeah, but I myself, I tend to go through drinks really quickly.
Me too.
Oh yeah,
it's not that I chug it, but it's like it's always like sip, and then I put it down, and then like again
Sip.
the oral fixation thing. I need to sip again, and then I need to sip again.
Sippy, and then you're like, oh wait a minute, I just drank 2 liters of water.
Exactly. It's like I go out for boba with friends or whatever. By the time we all have our orders and we're out the door, I'm probably halfway through my drink.
Same. I am the exact same way.
You are causing so much editing.
Same.
All the bangs on the desk, like bang, 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 bang.
We're gonna keep those in. No. Those go. Those stay. They stay. This is like passion right here. Okay.
on the usual, I'm limiting my streams now to about 2 hours an evening.
Mm-hmm.
In those 2 hours, I'll have 2 mugs of water, and then like 2 bottles of Aquafina on standby. Like, I'll have about at least a liter of drink on standby.
Wow.
And chances are, when I hit end stream, like, I'm on my last bottle. But it doesn't keep my mouth busy enough, you know? Like, I've tried all the things. Like, I don't smoke cigarettes or anything, but I've tried everything a smoker would do. Like, I did chewing gum.
Yeah.
But I found that after a while, it just tastes rubbery and my jaw gets tired. I tried, there was a phase in my life where I was the lollipop kid.
Oh, no.
I would go to the candy store and I'd put down, like, I don't know, $5, and I'd just get, like, a stupid amount of Chupa Chups for the week.
Oh, jeez.
What even are those?
And,
What
like,
is
I
that?
just always have a lollipop in my mouth. I'd always barter with them on the schoolyard or whatever, and then I'd always get cavities. So they're like, yeah, no, stop doing that.
Yeah,
so,
that makes sense on things.
So yeah, now it's just like I need busy food. I need something to
something
keep
that
me,
lasts.
Yeah, like something I can just like gnaw on mindlessly while I'm doing whatever. Or
did you ever get those giant jawbreakers when you were a kid?
Oh my god!
Like the really really big ones that you couldn't actually fit in your mouth. You had to like
as
sit
big
there
as
and like
fist.
lick. Yeah, you had to like lick it the whole time instead until it got like small enough that you could actually be like. They were so messy.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. GHK Radio Episode 0 exclusive secret about Kai.
All right, and we're ready.
Yeah, ready.
Behind this mask, I actually have kind of a small mouth. So the jawbreakers growing up were always too big for me. And I'm just like, I don't like them. I can't put them in my mouth.
Oh no!
I can't do the Ed, and Eddie. I can't just like chipmunk cheek it. It's too big.
Oh.
Like for my like I've always had like for my face a slightly smaller mouth, which was what surprised a lot of people.
The really big ones you couldn't even like fit in your mouth normally. Like I remember being in elementary school and we got one of them. And it was like the size of my fist, and I literally just kept it in plastic wrap, and I would just like lick it. Like every night I dutifully licked this jawbreaker.
Yeah.
And we kept it in the freezer so that it could like, because freezing stuff like kills the bacteria, right? Because the main thing I was worried about is I have this giant jawbreaker and I was like a small child. So of course, like when you're a small child and you have a candy that was like more than $1,
Keeping it for
like,
weeks.
I need to keep this safe because I'm never getting one of these again, even though like I literally probably could have, like, I don't know, done some chores around the house and then they're like, Mom DM, please buy giant jawbreaker. But no, I kept this jawbreaker, and I kept it in the freezer, and every single night I would take it out, unwrap it from its sticky, gross plastic wrap because it's sugar. It's literally sugar. And just like dutifully be like sitting there while reading a book and just like licking this jawbreaker until like, and I wasn't smart about it. The smart way would have been to keep rotating the jawbreaker, but no, I just went on one side of it.
Oh, you drilled a hole into it with your tongue. Just like
No, didn't even do the drilling. I didn't even do the drilling. I just kept it completely flat. It looked like somebody put it on like a piece of sandpaper.
That's
Because
amazing.
I realized every one of the layers is a different color. Because they use different sugars, right? And once I realized that it was a different color, I was just like, oh, I want to make this into like a tree trunk. So I just kept licking. But of course, since it's like the size of my fist, once I got far enough, my tongue wasn't big enough to keep an even distribution of just gradually eating this massive jawbreaker. And so once it got halfway, I was just like, what do? I can't keep it even anymore. Wrap it up in plastic wrap, stick it back in the freezer.
No, I can't say I've ever had that. No, but I just had the Chupa Chup lollipops.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Wait,
oh, no,
really?
They're just they're a brand of lollipops, like lolly candies that are kind of round on a stick.
They're really small.
They're
They sound kind of like Dum Dum suckers. That's the thing in the States.
Yeah, they're like Dum Dums.
I guess something like that, yeah. But I'd buy like, I remember for like, I don't know, $5, I'd get, I think, 20 of them at a time, because it's like 25 cents each.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
they're
as a
super
kid-
cheap, yeah.
As a
They're
kid,
garbage.
I'm just, like, walking along the mall, like, the lollipops spilling out of my pockets. It's great.
I want to see that picture of Kai's youth
Yeah.
walking through the mall with just Chupa Chups trailing behind him.
Yeah, it's like I'd have like the little hoodie sweater with the like the connected pocket in it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'd always feel like a little kangaroo with like all my Chupa Chups, but they
All your
don't all
Chupa
fit
Chups.
in there. So it's like I put some in my pants pocket, it fits maybe like 2 or 3, and then it just like they all come spilling out, and I'm like none the wiser. My mom's behind me picking up Chupa Chups. It's like,
Honey, you're leaving a trail.
How nice of your mom, though. If it would have been my mom, she would be like, anything you drop, I get to keep.
Oh, my mom would have been like, good. I'm glad you dropped them. Now you
Oh,
don't have to eat them.
Oh no,
bruh.
bruh.
Mama Rune was not a big fan of sugar.
Hmm.
Which is why growing up, you could find in any hidden nook and cranny in the house, like a handful, a fistful of Tootsie Roll wrappers.
Oh no.
Oh,
Because I would,
oh.
because Papa Rune really likes Tootsie Rolls, or at least he did when I was little. So he would buy like the big bags full of individually wrapped Tootsie Rolls, and I would sneak some.
Of course.
And because I didn't want to leave any evidence in the trash can, little Harune was a little bit big brain at least.
a little
but-
bit, a little bit.
But so I would hide them like in between couch cushions, underneath things, sort of just like around anywhere but the trash can because I didn't want any evidence to be found. And
If they're in the trash can, it's evidence.
exactly. Well, you know, because Mama Rune would like empty out the trash cans,
Yeah.
you know, once a week, and she'd, you know, look in and find them. I was certain. So, but yeah, no, but also once a week was cleaning. So then she would clean in between the couch cushions and everything.
Oh, no.
She'd find all my wrappers anyway. So little Harune always got in trouble, but
It was
yeah,
delayed, hopefully.
It was-
delayed trouble.
until
So I
like,
remember doing that too. Like you gotta hide the evidence of your eating and all that. Because there used to be this hot dog stand that like I really enjoyed their hot dogs for. They had like a spicy beef sausage with like
Ooh.
sweet corn and all the fixings on it, and it was great.
that sounds
But the only time I go past it is just before dinner time. So it's like
Oh.
I'd always sneak one. I'd always buy one by myself, hop on the bus on the way home, and then like scarf it down on the bus.
Yeah.
And then as I'm walking up to like my home, I'm like, how can I get rid of the hot dog paper and napkins without anyone finding out? So
Yeah.
I would only do it on Tuesday, because Tuesdays are garbage days where everyone takes out the trash. I would
Oh,
walk
that's
past
so
the
smart.
neighbor's house.
Mhm.
And discard it in like their trash pile.
Oh my gosh.
You were just.
Yeah, and
Oh no.
you know, family would be looking out the window waiting for me to get home so we could start dinner, so they see me do it all the time.
Oh no!
They actually just saw you like throwing garbage into the neighbor's garbage can.
I love the idea.
Well, no, they didn't quite see me. They just see me hovering over it. So I walk in thinking I'm so smart, and they're like,
Oh no.
Kai, you're 24. Stop picking other people's garbage.
But like in a lot of ways that is really big brain, but I love the mental image that gives of just every member of Kai's family just staring out the
Like
window.
watching out there being like, there he goes again. It's Tuesday.
watching.
You're also telling the story of like little Harune, I assume, when you're a child stealing a Tootsie Puffle.
Yeah, here you are at
Tootsie
24.
Puffle. I'm 24, just trying to sneak a hot dog.
Oh,
Back in
Oh
the day
my
when I was 24.
see,
Sneak a hot dog before dinner.
not when little girl Dion never really stole like not stole, but never really like absconded sweets. Because the rule was in our family, like, mom loves sweets, loves chocolate. She always has chocolate stashed. Like, one time she gave me chocolate and she was like, I've had this for a year and I need to eat all of it and it's too much for me to eat it, so here's chocolate for you. And I was just like, oh, yay, free chocolate. But she always has chocolate, so anytime that I've had like a bad day or something, or even when I was like really little, I could just be able to be like, Mom, I want chocolate. And she would be like, okay, go do the dishes and you get chocolate. And I'd be like, yes!
Oh,
so, like,
heck.
that was the rule. And like, Mom always had candy bars stashed somewhere, and if you did housework or additional housework on top of your standard chores, or like wash the cars, like I washed the car so many times because it was just like, you wash the car, you get a candy bar.
Nice.
But now that I'm older, the thing that I've gotten in trouble for, so this is even really recent, my parents were just away for a week to just have like celebrate their anniversary together and travel for a bit.
Oh, congratulations to them.
Yeah, they're really excited about it. And so I was home, and I made pasta for dinner for 3 of the nights because that's what my brother likes to eat. And my mom buys boxed wine. And wine is really good with pasta. So each night that we had wine, each night I had pasta, I had wine. And so last night my mom got home and she was like, my box is feeling a little lighter. And I was like, I owe you a box of wine, Mom. Because I was just pouring myself some wine, and I was mentally going, you know what? Sometime this week I'll have the opportunity to go and buy a replacement. She'll be none the wiser. Did I have time during the week to buy her wine? Nope.
I guess not.
Nope. So I was like, I owe you a box of wine. I didn't even drink like a full box or anything. I only had like 3 glasses out of it, and the box holds like closer to 8 to 10 glasses. But I'm still. I was still
Dad,
like,
you're a good girl. You're a
Yeah,
good girl just replacing it like that. That's sweet. I don't know why. And when I was growing up, and even like when I became old enough to drink, like my parents never hid the alcohol. They never like had strict rules. Like I feel like it was always sort of like the thing to do when you were in high school, like to sneak alcohol when your parents were away or something like that. I never once had the urge to do so. I was never interested in drinking. When I was old enough to drink, in fact, my mom was the one who was like, here, have this now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't want this. And she was like,
you can drink, come drink.
Basically, but now I drink with my dad every once in a while. My mom's like, you're an alcoholic.
Oh no.
Yeah, which is definitely not true, but just, when I'm over, it's usually to like relax and enjoy dinner together. So of course I'm going to have, a small drink and
Yeah.
Mom Renee. She's
I don't know,
alcohol.
I can talk.
You're right there, Kai? You're right there?
No, not at all. Bit my tongue. Alcohol's still not really a thing in my household. Like, it's not like I haven't drunk before, but I don't have a habit of drinking. I don't quite like the taste of alcohol.
That's fair.
So I'm like only a social drinker, and even then it's only like maybe 2 or 3 times a year for like Christmas parties or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else, like when they have a bev, I'm like, just give me a ginger ale. I'll be happy with that kind of thing.
Yes.
And they're like,
Yeah.
everyone makes the joke that I'm the designated driver without a car.
Oh no.
But yeah, like my mother and my brother, they also don't drink. My dad used to drink a little, but he like isn't exactly in the health to be drinking regularly now, so he watches his
fair.
drinking and everything.
Yeah.
In our house, it's soda pop.
Oh.
My mother, like DM's mom DM loves
Mom DM.
chocolate. You said?
Yeah. Oh, she loves chocolate.
Mama Kai's all about Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, Mom.
And it has to be regular, classic Coca-Cola. It can't be diet. It can't be
Oh.
zero. She will only accept classic.
Gotta have
and
that
she will
fancy
have-
red label with the white text, right?
Yes. And she will have a can a day, and that's her holding back.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So,
That's chotto yabai.
So you mean your mom could have been a gamer?
I don't
If she
know
was
about
born
the
like if
whole
she was born like
game.
20 years later,
If she were
Maybe.
a Zoomer.
she could just be
Maybe.
like she would just be the one that's just like, "Oh, let's go."
I think I told this story to Harune already, but I remember when I was in high school and my brother was in grade school, normally I walk home by myself, like, from high school, because it was, like, relatively close to where I lived, about a half-hour walk. I'm, like, walking, chatting with my friends on the way home, and then a car just, like, screeches to a halt next to us. And the door, like, pops open. It's my mom. She picked up my brother from school and was like, get in. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And then I hop in, and as soon as we're, like, driven away from my friends, and, like, I don't know why she looked back as if they could hear us. She was like, there's a big sale on Coca-Cola. But it's 2 cases per family.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna get us to the market. You're getting out of the car first. I'm gonna do 2 laps around the parking lot. Then your brother's getting out of the car. And then 2 more laps later, I'll park. And we'll all get 2 cases. Remember, classic code.
Oh, so you guys are pulling off one of those grand old family-style heists of one per family. When you're just like, yeah, we just go all individually to go and get that one per family, get around that whole thing, right?
Exactly. The part she didn't think through was she ended up parking close to the market, close to the store window where the cashiers look out and just see. So, since I was in there first, I'm just, like, standing outside next to our locked car carrying 2 cases. And then my brother just plods along with 2 cases and stands next to me waiting. And we're both just standing there waiting for Mom to come out with her 2 cases.
Oh, no.
The cashier saw us and was clearly not paid enough to care. So they didn't say anything.
Right. I mean, at that point, like, once you've paid, if anything, they just made more money from the same family. What are they going to, it doesn't matter to them.
Right, but my brother at the time was in grade school, so he got tired holding 2 cases. So I was stuck there. I was stuck there holding 4 cases of cola.
Oh my god!
24 cans a case. I was holding
Poor Kai. Oh, Kai's so strong.
40. That was 96 cans of cola. I was just standing there holding 96 cans of cola, waiting for my mom to come out.
Did your mom at least, like, give you a can of cola just to be like, here, thanks for helping?
Oh, no. We're allowed to drink the cola. It's when she hides. It's when she hides a cream soda amidst the cola. If anyone touches that, she'll know immediately.
Aha.
Wait, so she's a big cream soda fan?
Cream soda is her special little treat. It's when she indulges. She'll have a can of cream soda hidden amidst the forest of Coca-Cola, and the rest of us enjoy cream soda. So, like, one time we found it and was like, oh hey. I'll pour half a can for my brother, and I'll have half a can for myself. Mm-hmm. Well, Mom found out and got upset. And got upset at me because I had the can and he had an empty cup. So he was just like, I was drinking milk.
No! Your brother's a betrayer!
What the heck? Traitor!
He's a traitor! I can't believe it.
Destroyed. Dead to me. Dead to me,
great.
younger brother Kai.
Oh, sorry, I'm laughing so hard my, like, facial tracking was losing itself. It's an interesting household I live in, yes.
Yeah.
I guess we all have those stories.
Right? My family's pretty similar on, like, the alcohol wasn't really, like, a forbidden thing, so I never had the temptation for it, really. But, like, even when I was younger at home, my mom would be like, oh, would you like a little bit of wine with dinner? And, like, I was, in high school, and be like, yeah, sure. It wasn't anything like a stranger to me or anything. But then, when I lived in Japan, drinking culture's a really big thing there. And that's how I got acquainted with a lot of other things. So I probably among us, I probably drink the most alcohol. So if your mom Harune is being like, oh, you're alcoholic, you'd be like, no. Look at Girl DM.
Well, I mean, like, now that, I live away from my parents now.
Yeah.
It's always a refreshing reminder when I sit there and go, wait a second, I could drink right now if I wanted. Like, I don't have to hold back at all. Like, I could get smashed if I wanted. I don't want to, because I have things to do and I'm a responsible adult on occasion. But
sometimes.
But it is nice to know that I have that choice.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to know that I can choose not to. right?
Yeah.
You know, instead of feeling like, oh, every time I drink, I'm going to be judged. Every time I don't drink, I'm sitting there being like, well, it's because I'm not allowed to, right? Well, that's not the case.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I don't drink because I don't want to. I drink because I want to, right? So it is rather freeing in that case. So, yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah. Kai, do you wanna go next?
Sure. I could bring up my topic next. A little, a bit of a shift from snack and drink talk.
Snacks!
Yay!
Snack time. We managed to get quite a bit out of snacks. I wasn't expecting this much conversation over snacks.
I could talk about snacks for literally days.
Right?
We haven't even those iceberg pictures, and it's like the problem, and then at the bottom it's like the real problem. That's me with snacks. The full disclosure about snacks.
Well, maybe we'll bring back an episode of snack talk later down the line.
We'll just talk about snacks every week.
Let's talk about snacks.
I mean, I do the I did the one potluck stream. That's basically what that is. So.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is, I need to order one of those Japan snack boxes for your potluck stream, and then I'll just be stuffing my face and oh, this one is a different one, like that the whole time.
Exactly. That would be perfect. I'd need to get one with you.
Yes.
But yes. So, I don't know if the two of you know this, but we happen to be VTubers.
I had no idea.
Yes, and my
you kidding
topic
me?
has something to do with VTubers, basically. I was looking around, and it was after a talk I had with Go DM, actually.
Yeah.
You were kind of talking about how, the big bang of VTubers is coming. It's
yes.
ever since your friend Nanners. Nanners recently became a VTuber, and before that she was a content creator online for quite a while.
Yeah, and what's her name? Lily Chu?
Lily Pichu, yes.
Lily Pichu.
Another quite well-known content creator on the internet, looking at becoming a VTuber kind of thing.
Yes.
And that kind of got me thinking, it's so VTubing up until this year was more of a niche. It still kind of is a niche, I guess you could say.
We're still, I would say, niche phase still.
The English-speaking community kind of thing. But, and then it got me thinking, so what if, all these other non-VTubers started looking towards this direction? What if, other well-known content creators, let's say, Mr. Beast or PewDiePie, they start looking in this direction? Because sometimes, the number one of YouTube or whatever, the things they do catch mainstream media attention. Some news outlets might start reporting on it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So then what if mainstream media starts looking in the direction of YouTubers? Because to them, this is an untapped market.
Oh.
And, because a little while back, I think Jack Black made a YouTube channel and has gained popularity there.
Yeah, he's been doing Let's Plays.
Will Smith? And then I started thinking, what if celebrities start looking into this? And I'm just please, one day, let Terry Crews become a VTuber. I'll be so
Terry
happy.
Crews be
let
a VTuber.
Terry Crews become a VTuber. And then I look deeper and deeper into this. So I guess first off, before I get into the next bit of it, what are you guys' thoughts on it? Do you think it's something that could happen? Is there any particular, I guess, mainstream media personality you'd like to see at least acknowledge VTubing or have a hand, get involved with VTubing in some way?
It's interesting for me to think about because my initial reaction, especially for those who are already famous, to be well, why would they, what would they be getting out of it? They're already famous. People already know them, for their IRL looks. Right? It really... And in terms of just, what you would need to VTube, right? You do need, face tracking programs. you need to purchase the model. Now, when you're already famous and you've got, money to
Burn.
kind of throw around, then that's not really, too big of an issue. But still, those are like sort of extra steps that you would need to take instead of just doing, like a live face cam and still gaming and chatting and things like that. Like, I think regardless of medium, whether it's face cam or model, people will still want to interact with you because you're you, right? At that point, how you are presenting yourself towards your audience, I don't think will really change that. However, if it's on the impact of the VTubing community in general, I think it will definitely start, it will start garnering a lot of attention from people who wouldn't be looking at VTubing in the first place. Kind of like what happened with Project Melody.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those are my only thoughts so far.
I think
I'd have to think more about it.
I think for me, like, because what you were saying, Harune, like, if a famous person chooses to start VTubing, why would they, like, choose that? But from what I'm thinking from my own personal thoughts, like, I designed my avatar to be something that I thought was cute. And the prospect of being able to be, like, having this be a representative is fun. So if you're rich and you've got money to burn and, like, you want to have fun with something that you wouldn't necessarily, like, depending on if they announce out to the world, oh, this is me, I'm Robert Downey Jr., now I'm a cat girl.
Yes!
Right? Or on the opposite spectrum, like, fame can get exhausting. And if someone sees you on a channel, they know you're there right there immediately, right? So it also can give an opportunity because the majority of us VTubers, well, it's there's some VTubers that will share what their real looks look like, and there's some VTubers that would prefer to keep that completely separate. And if you are someone that does have, like, your face is known, the prospect of being able to have a community that isn't necessarily based off of your own fame or your own, like, your looks could be attractive.
That's true. I did not think about it the other way around. I just thought, if you're famous, people will come see you anyway. But if you're famous and you're trying to kind of not shirk away from your fame, but, like, put your fame aside and just do you, but still be a part of the internet, that I could see that being appealing. Yeah,
because it's suddenly you have a whole new avenue that's not necessarily just tied to yourself as being famous, right? Kind of like a little breath of air from, like, a different source than your typical one. And then on the other side of things as well, I do think I'm of the mindset, because I was chatting with Kai about it before, I am of the mindset that we will see more and more avatar representation of people as things go along. As far as, like, accessibility goes for VTubing, it's quite accessible compared to a year prior. Because I've been looking at, I've only been a VTuber since May, but I had been looking into VTubing since, like, 2018.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So during that time frame, it was a lot harder, a lot more expensive and time consuming in order to be able to become a VTuber. Part of the reason why I made the change now was... Sorry, there's a loud motorcycle. Part of the reason why I made the change now was because of how much more accessible it's become.
I think I would be
resources.
a pretty... Oh, sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no worries.
I think I would be a pretty good example of how accessible it's become then, because I started in January, so technically I've been VTubing longer than Girl. But
yeah, much longer.
I didn't start thinking about VTubing until December 2019. From the point in time where I thought, hey, I wonder if I can try it, to my very first debut video, that was 3 weeks. It took me 3 weeks and a budget of about $65 to get started.
Hey, but you also do have, like, the ability of the arts.
See, here's the thing. I have like you said, I drew my own avatar, basically. I didn't have to commission one, I just kind of made my own. But for anyone that's not an audio listener, if they're watching the VOD of this, you can clearly tell the fidelity of my model compared to my co-hosts here. I'm of not as... I don't have a range of motion like they do. I basically have a much more limited model. And if someone is able to accept the fact, they can MS Paint their own model. If they don't mind hitting, like, 8-bit quality.
Well, another thing to add on top of that, my older brother made his own avatar in Vroid in less than a week.
Exactly.
He had no experience with Vroid. He had no experience with that type of software before, or like doing the textures and such like that. But there haven't enough resources on like YouTube and tutorials and on Twitter that he made he's got his own avatar, and he bought tracking software that was like $20.
Exactly.
And he can be a VTuber now, right?
Like, of my $65 budget, I think $40 was just getting a webcam. And before I bought the webcam, I spent maybe 2-3 days streaming with just my cell phone. Because you could just download an app to turn your cell phone into a webcam. And, like, stream cell phone footage onto your computer. And then I, like, used that in the facial recognition software.
I had no idea they could do that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it burned through my cell phone battery like nobody's business.
I bet.
I'm sure.
But yeah, on this topic, kind of as a flip side, as opposed to mainstream media looking into VTubing, I wanted to talk a bit about VTubing entering the mainstream media. Because actually, recently in April of this year, in April of this year, they did season 2 of a show called Watanuki-san Chieno, which was a 2019 soap opera on TV Tokyo.
Okay.
On Japanese, like, daytime television, I guess, or like nighttime television, I don't quite know. But like on TV, not on the internet, not on YouTube, not on Bilibili. On TV, they have a soap opera starring VTubers.
What?
Oh,
It was like... Are you guys familiar with like Machinima? Like kind of like Red vs. Blue, that kind of thing where it's like...
Yes.
It's kind of a show where they use in-game models to kind of animate. Harune's favorite example, Ruby. Something
it's not my favorite example. I don't watch Ruby. Everyone just says I sound like someone in Ruby.
You should. Hey, Harune, want to watch Ruby?
Are we doing? Let's do watch along. Let's watch along.
Watch along. And once you get past season 1, it's so much smoother.
Really?
But,
okay.
Yeah, actually, it stars 3 VTubers of varying backgrounds.
Interesting.
If you don't mind me kind of reading out the article a little bit here.
No,
Go ahead.
The main cast, I guess the synopsis of the story is it's about 3 sisters of the Watanuki household. And it's all done in 3D, it's all using their 3D models. Essentially, it's like if we put Harune and Girl DM in full body tracking and then in like a VR chat-ish environment. And then they shot the whole TV show in that environment.
Interesting.
And they had the oldest sister was played by Toki no Sora of Hololive fame.
Oh.
And she's like a massive VTuber. She's like 440,000 followers. The middle sister was played by someone named Saru Gakucho Futaba. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name. She's of Update fame, so she's in the same company as Kizuna Ai. So they're from different companies.
Huh.
And the last one seems to be like a self-produced VTuber named Hibiki... Oh no, sorry. Whoops, I mixed that up. Futaba-san is the self-produced VTuber. She's got about 5,000 followers only, compared to the 450. And the last sister is played by Hibiki Ao of Update fame, which is Kizuna Ai's company.
Interesting. That's really cool.
So it almost seems like people from different walks of life trying to be actors joining a production, they have costumes made for their models. They had new models made with new outfits themed for the show.
That's really neat.
It's like, I mean, imagine like costume and makeup if we give Girl DM a wig that takes away her cat ears so she can play a human role. Or if we took away all the more technological bit bops from Harune and gave her like an office lady outfit kind of thing. Like,
I would like to see Office Lady Harune, please.
Same. But yeah, they have
Hey,
two
hit the follow button. Hit the follow button. If we get enough followers, we'll put Harune in a maid. Not maid. I'm maid. Harune into an Office Lady outfit. Okay.
Harune already has a maid outfit. It's Pox.
I know. But OL-san. We're gonna get OL-san Harune. Okay. Hit the button right now.
So this seems to be something that they're trying in Japan. Actually, putting using VTubers as actors. So it's not like the voice actor behind the VTuber. They're credited as their VTubing name.
That's really interesting. So using the avatar overall as the representation and creating outfits for that avatar itself.
Yes. I can actually
That's cool.
I can link the article for it in the chat so you guys can see it. I don't know how Harune's going to see it if she's doing the mood capture though, so one second.
Well, we'll figure it out. But that is really interesting. Like, I do see...
Yeah, like you see the little image there. That's not how they usually look like. They had outfits designed specifically for their models for the show. On-set costumes.
Oh, that's so neat.
And it says
I
things
think that's
like,
cool.
Watanuki Ichika, the eldest sister, played by Toki no Sora, not played by the voice actors behind Toki no Sora.
Yeah.
Or the motion capture of Toki no Sora. The VTuber themselves became a TV actor.
Oh, that's kind of...
Wow.
I mean, it's interesting, but I wonder how, like... I mean, well, I was about to say, I wonder how the people behind the characters must feel, but then at the same time, it's like, well, as your VTuber persona, yeah, that's right. Like, even especially if you're part of a company, they tell you not to talk about it anyway. Like, your real identity isn't supposed to be known anyway. So
yeah, I think it depends on, like, per VTuber, I guess, because I do talk, like, speaking as Girl DM, but if I want to talk about, like, the person behind Girl DM, I refer to that as Miss Voice. When I'm, like, talking about it publicly, because I share information about Miss Voice's life, as opposed to, like, what's happening with Girl DM's life, right? So I do make that distinction between them when I'm talking about things.
I'm
but
the
it also,
opposite of you,
right?
Because I don't make that distinction. I'm Kai. I talk about me as if I am me. I just am presenting myself forward with this image. Like, the degree of separation between streamer Kai and
Kai,
like, day-to-day Kai is just... I talk a little louder on stream, and I'm a little less shameless. Like, I've got a little less shame.
a little less as he live streams an entire walk over to Starbucks and a skit on a table in front of staff changing a trash can.
A little less shame.
A little less shame.
You
I
ate
know
my
shame
muffin.
When the camera's off. I know shame when the camera's off. Leave me alone.
Camera's off, and Kai goes, "Oh, what have I done?"
Yeah. But, like, so yeah. I mean, it's like the first time they're trying it. The first iteration, of course, looks a little janky. Like,
yeah.
You know, Season 1 Ruby, Season 1 Red versus Blue kind of thing. Everything's kind of like they're figuring it out.
That one episode of South Park where they're playing World of Warcraft. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, do you see a potential for it? I guess even on the English VTubing side, would there be any VTubers that would use their VTubing identity and their streams, let's say, as like a demo reel, trying to get into, let's say, the anime dubbing industry, or maybe even like they'll pitch an idea further down the line when VTubing becomes world famous. Let's put that on television. Let's put VTube. Would you watch VTubers on television, daytime television?
Oh, that's crazy. That's a crazy
I think
thought.
it would like kind of like modern shows today. I think it would just depend on what the content was between whether or not I would watch it or not. Because am a fan of just like watching what I think is interesting. But I do see like the potential overall, especially with like Avatar as a representation of oneself instead. Like I know there's a lot of like sci-fi media stuff about like people using avatars to represent themselves, but I do see that as something potential as VR becomes more accessible, more widespread. Like imagine a news company that their weather person is represented by an avatar. And then instead of having, because like in smaller towns this really isn't a big of issue, but in larger areas like in LA and stuff, people do like harass or try to hunt down or stalk the people that are on the news.
What?
That's
staff.
crazy.
Why?
It's just people do things that are weird. But like when my mom was raised in California, and there was actually one of the weather women was actually attacked when she was trying to get into her car because she was a weather person.
What
And they
the
recognized
heck?
her and they went after her.
Did she predict that there wouldn't be any rain and it rained that day? Like,
No
that's
idea.
terrible.
There are crazy people. Like even like imagine for like music groups and stuff, especially if you're thinking about like in Korea, especially like
Oh,
K-pop
yeah,
stars,
just, like,
those
big
fans that
groupies.
hunt them down. If you have avatar representation, you do have like kind of an additional layer, a barrier that could be secure. But it's also on the other hand a little bit more scary because you can use that avatar to represent yourself, and you have that bonus anonymity, and we all know what happens when there's like a ton of anonymity to people, and it's the internet.
Yeah. There's a little. It almost seems like there's more at stake. You have more to lose if someone tries hard enough.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though.
I do think we are going to see like VTuber stonks gonna go up.
Stonks.
My stonks.
Invest,
Stonks
buy,
for
buy.
I mean, because so for the VTuber community, like we know like VTubing overall is like talking about and stuff, but for the regular society, especially Western society, the concept is something like Ready Player One. That seed is already in their brain. Ready Player One is essentially VTubing, but everyone's a VTuber.
Battle.
Yes.
It's like SAO,
I
but
never
live
thought of it
action.
like that.
Like-
I never thought of it like that.
And I do see things going that direction with like space limitations, having the VR, making things accessible, customizing your avatars. It's like kind of feels just like natural progression.
I want to turn into Gundam so bad, please.
Oh, please, somebody who knows how to do Blender, please make me the Gundam outfit, please.
Please make me Gundam. Whatever Gundam ariru.
I want to be the Sailor Moon Gundam.
Oh, that's cute.
She's super cute. She's so cute, and she kicks people. It's great.
I want to be a cardboard box Gundam.
That is a dream cosplay of mine. No cap.
Oh boy.
Amazing. Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's a really interesting thought. And it's crazy to think like how much like discussion, how much exposure, how much like how common it would become for it to gain traction. Maybe not so much in Asia because that's in Asia VTubing has been there for quite some time.
Yeah.
For English VTubing, it's been a few years, right? We've had English VTubers that have, been around for a long, long while.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty new. Like, before I started, just to sort of get a gauge on what most people thought about VTubers, I asked my students. I was like, so, what do you think? Do you know what a VTuber is? And I would get these blank stares, and they're like, what words are you even like? Is that even English? And I was like, all right,
Right,
so
right.
you don't know. But at the same time, I'm thinking like I teach a majority younger students, who are like mid to late elementary school, somewhere in middle school at the time. Even my one high school student at the time didn't know. So I was like, okay, so this is sort of like girl DM had mentioned earlier, kind of an untapped market as of right now. I mean, clearly it has been tapped in, but it has not become mainstream.
So,
it's still very niche. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. If you look at the lifestyle of not lifestyle, the lifespan of like a product, there's different stages towards it. There's like the introductory stage, and then there's the early adopters, and then after the early adopter stage is when it starts to go mainstream. Currently, the English VTuber community at the time of this podcast is over 1,000, I think, right now.
Give or take, from what I understand, yeah.
Which, listening, like, from the community members who have been around since, like, 2019 and, like, the start of 2020, that sounds like a lot. In the scheme of things, that's not a lot at all. This is way still, like, early adopter stage. But with more mainstream YouTubers and personalities having the appeal of having a virtual avatar, that's when it's going to start hitting the mainstream, and that's when we're going to start seeing like explosion for VTubing. And it has the potential to just transition over to like, this is how it goes online, right? Like it used to be that you didn't have social media.
Right.
Now everybody has social media. You have like specific apps that require your social media profiles to log in with.
Yeah.
That's only changed in like the past like 5 to 10 years.
And in the grand scheme of things, that's really short. Anything happening in 5 years is really short.
That's super short. So it's like, it's kind of a mystery happening right now. We get to experience living through it, this is exciting for me because this is like, literally could eventually change the course of how interactions work online with like virtual reality as we go farther into that, as we have those tech developments that lead us towards being able to do that, right? Technology
that
fun.
is crazy. What a time to be a VTuber.
Right?
Right. Because like, yeah, before there's like this mentality. It's like, oh, because Harune, you started early 2019 or late 2018? I don't even remember.
I started early 2019. My very, very first stream, I believe, was sometime in March.
Right. So there's about a 9 to 10 month difference between you and me. And the mentality at the time was like, oh, like you are like such a veteran compared to me. You are the senpai. I like big respect. I can never even imagine one day maybe getting to, yell
at you to go to bed.
metaphorically shake your hand. It's like, you are on this untouchable pedestal. But it's like, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, we're basically in the same blip on the timeline.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I was thinking too, like, the lifespan of anything on the internet, the internet timeline moves by so quickly. Like,
it's so
something could
messed
be old within a week.
Yeah.
Like, you catch on to a meme that's a week old, people are already like, that's dated.
Yep.
I mean,
it's like even like prime example of that, like the playing solitaire thing that some people have been doing. That's only been around for like a week.
Right.
But there's still plenty of people being like, why is everybody doing this now? It's been a week. So that perception, right? And of course, like, we have our IRL time frame is still going to keep chugging along. So as fast as things feel like here, there are going to be, like, looking back on it, it's going to look and feel like 10 times faster than it is at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I'd love to use that, if that's okay with you, Kai, as a segue. To...
How dare you, Malcolm?
Segue.
Unless if you have any further thoughts.
No,
yeah,
please, by
go
all
back
means.
to snacks. Back to snacks.
Back to snacks? All right.
Go ahead, Harune.
but mine is sort of on that technological route as well, and it's about something that was sort of introduced a little over a year ago, maybe around a year, but has been brought up again in discussion and now in demonstration about a week ago. And this was Elon Musk's brain implant.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
Brain chips.
Yes, the Neuralink brain implant. And his demonstration was on a piggy named Gertrude. And at least from the article that I read, now granted, it was just one article, and it was in CNN, so I don't know. Like, I probably should have been reading more like articles that were purely like data based.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I figured they would put them in layman's terms. My brain is not big when it comes to like technology things, right? Like I don't get big technological words, so I was like, anything simplified would be great for me. But basically, first off, what I guess this demo showed was... So here, I'll just read a little bit of the article here. So it says, Gertrude shuffled around her pen, sniffing the ground and eating, while loud beeps and blips filled the air and a display showed real-time spikes in her brain activity. Musk explained that Gertrude had the implant inserted in her head 2 months before, and that it connected to neurons in her snout. When she touched something with her snout, it sent out neural spikes that were detected by more than 1,000 electrodes in the implant. And then it kind of further explains, someone had asked, like, well, why a piggy instead of a human? And Elon said pigs are actually quite similar to people, so they're a great test subject. And sort of, and the article kind of goes on about different, you know, like his first initial... well, first does mean initial, doesn't it? But his first idea, which was something that was going to be sort of behind the ear, some sort of like behind the ear earpiece or something like that, and then now it's just like a straight up implant that's around like the size of a coin with really, really thin wires here. Like, what does it say here? So it said, he said the company scrapped the idea for the behind-the-ear receiver in favor of a fully embedded implant about the size of a coin that would be placed below the skull, a plan that sounds more invasive than what Musk unveiled last summer. He showed off a prototype of this so-called link, which he said would include many of the sensors in your smartphone, such as a 6-axis internal, I can't read, measurement unit and temperature and pressure sensors. The device uses Bluetooth Low Energy to communicate with a computer. So, other than all of that stuff, right, which, I don't know about you guys, my initial reaction was that of slight terror. Like, I was like, why are we doing this in the first place? Like, I know that's always sort of been a joke, right? That, like, one day we'll just have chips in our brains and we won't really have to do anything. But there's, like, a line in this article that really just, like, cracked me up. Where it said, like, like, ideally... Hang on, where is it? I just want to find that small little blip. Oh, one word in a sea of words is not going to be easy to find. But basically it said, like, eventually... Oh, wait, hang on. No. It said that the idea for this was hopefully to be able to help paraplegics and quadriplegics still be able to connect through the internet, you know, still be able to use their phones, still be able to type, still be able to connect to social media and things like that. And then he said, and then it says, and then eventually telepathy. And I was like,
what? Is texting to each other through the brain chips telepathy?
Kai, are you getting the message?
No, I'm not picking you up, Boba.
Dang it.
She doesn't need Boba picked up her. There's a cup right in front of her.
Me. It's right here.
Get with the game.
Come
on.
I
can't move my arms. My model can't move arms. I can't pick up
You're
your
just
Boba.
going to have to shove your face into the straw.
This is why the chip would be able to help you, Kai.
Yeah, as a paraplegic, we could help you drink your bubble tea.
I mean, my first thought on this topic, because I'm little known fact, I'm a bit of a weeb. I enjoy me some animes from time to time.
Nah.
All I'm hearing is we're skipping right past the nerve gear of Sword Art Online.
That's what I was
getting right in. We're getting right into the Neurolinker of Axel World, and I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Right. Now, Elon Musk has always been
Mm.
sort of ahead of his time, right? Like, he's always been, like, 15 steps ahead of whatever people would think of next, right?
I mean, he's a good supervillain. Let's just say that.
He's a guy. Yeah.
He's a guy.
I'll end it at there.
I
He's a
think-
guy.
My thoughts on it are a little bit opposite of yours, Harune. When I was hearing about like the neural link thingamajig, the brain,
You're just gonna call it the Neurolinker too.
the Neuralinks.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm gonna call it a Neuralink. Thinking about that though, the possibilities for it are what are interesting to me. Like, of course, we would have to delve into what kind of access there is and what it's even actually able to do, how in depth we can get it to do. Because we don't want to have like Ghost in the Shell level of like Laughing Man stuff happening to people, right?
Yeah.
Right? That would be
Yeah.
a big no. But if it were to the point that, as far as for individuals go, people who aren't able to use their, I don't know, their bodies the way that we're able to, or even people that have like locked-in syndrome and stuff, having to have that as an option to maintain their communication so that they can have a bit more control in their lives and be able to communicate, like possibilities for people that have something that prevents them from speaking or something like that. Those kinds of that potential makes me like excited. Because little known fact about Miss Voice, I have a younger brother who is autistic, and he is severe language delay autistic. He cannot communicate with us in regular speech.
Right.
It just doesn't work. But if I text him simple questions, he's able to answer.
Oh.
So I can ask him and I can be like, hey, what did you do today? And he'll say nothing. I can text him, hey, what did you do today? And he'll tell me, today I went to the zip line and I played Beat Saber.
Right.
Because that's how his communication is going to be very different from mine, because he is autistic and he has a different communication style. So if
Right,
there was a
and this
device
would-
like that, right, that could enable him to be able to communicate more in a way that is understandable amongst the majority of our population, that is exciting for me.
It would
And I
open
can
more
see why,
avenues for him.
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. More opportunities for independence as well.
I mean, if we're talking about that, then like helping people with conditions that keep them from being able to communicate properly, etc., etc. What about like memory loss and like Alzheimer's and stuff? Like,
Yeah.
because we keep talking about like the read functions. What about the write functions? Would this be able to do like memory archiving? As
That
we
is
experience
interesting.
something and our synapses are firing, we're thinking about it, we're experiencing it in the now. It's basically just like having the recording button as you go. And it like
Oh.
backs it up in a database. It backs it up in a hard drive externally
Right?
as you're going through it.
Or maybe even like it realizes which synapses are supposed to be firing and it's be like, bruh. And then
Yeah.
like to help stimulate with like I don't know if that is, there would have to be additional research done. There's a lot of stuff we don't know about our brains.
Right. I feel like
but-
reading and writing would be easier than manipulation. Like
Yeah,
what-
probably.
Right,
Like
right.
I would love to be able to be like, Kai, you're now thinking only of Baby Shark.
do, 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 do,
Do it works, haha. But like understanding the scope of what it actually can do versus what the potential is of what we can actually do with it. I don't think it's going to be to the point where it's like I know kung fu for quite a ways, but it is still an idea. I want to play an MMO where I can be asleep and just be like, rink, upload.
Yes, but before we hit the Neurolinker of Axel World, I'd still like to at least stop by the Nerve Gear of Sword Art. Just saying.
Yeah, the Nerve Gear
Regardless of
does
anyone's
seem a
opinion.
little bit safer.
I mean, it microwaved a bunch of people's brains, but regardless of anyone's opinions of Sword Art Online, if you put a nerve gear in front of me, I would be a happy boy. I would be so happy.
Yeah.
Imagine if they put the nerve gear in front of you, but it's still the same resolution as it currently is on your computer.
Yo, I'm gonna need that new RTX. I'm gonna need me a 4K nerve gear.
I'm pretty sure even if you put it in 4K, Final Fantasy is still not gonna be that level of detail.
Hey now. Okay, no need to bring Final Fantasy into this. She did nothing wrong. Okay?
She did nothing wrong.
But yeah, and I think that's what has everyone sort of intrigued right now is all about the possibility, right?
Yeah.
So it's not so much like what its limitations are currently, but just like with this step, how many doors does that open?
Yeah.
Where could we go from here? Is it actually possible to, get to telepathy, right? Like, which is a huge leap, right? But
Yeah.
with this neuron link and just the fact that you can look up a picture of it online, you can see it. It exists.
Yeah.
Right? It is crazy to think that maybe telepathy's not that far off.
I mean, okay, but speaking on telepathy, there is something
Yes.
that is a little bit similar now. One of my family friends, her husband just got a new hearing aid implant.
Oh.
And it's connected wirelessly to their wireless network.
Oh
And
my gosh.
she has a little handheld device that she can speak into from anywhere within that network. And he'll hear her.
Oh my gosh.
So she could be upstairs and he could be like downstairs, like in the kitchen. And she could be like, hey babe, can you bring me a Coke?
That's like a walkie-talkie in your head.
Yeah, it's a head walkie-talkie. So we already have, like, if we're talking, like, as far as, like, telepathy goes, of being able to send a message directly, that technology does technically exist already.
That is true. I have never heard of that before in my life, though. That is
Right?
crazy. Oh
Right?
my goodness. Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, we can kind of achieve the same thing with, like, Bluetooth earbuds and the Discord call open. I mean,
True.
hands-free. I could be, like, on the other end of the planet, and I'll just be like, hey, how was your day? And then you'll hear me in your head.
See, and isn't that crazy? Like, we all think this is normal. Like, we don't think twice about what we're doing right now.
Right?
But the fact that when we see this slightly more outlandish piece of technology, compare it to our current piece of technology, it's really, like, we have come very far.
Right?
Right? This is crazy right now. Think about what technology was like even just 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
I mean,
Like-
the fact that I could take my phone right now and have a video chat with a friend of mine in Japan
Mind-boggling.
is still, like, kind of, like, when you put it into context and stuff, like, looking back at, like, old Star Trek, and then being like, because, like, okay, if you watch old Star Trek episodes now, it's kind of
Yes.
like, oh, well, yeah, of course, blah, 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 ooh, teleportation's really cool. Their communicators are part of what inspired the guy that eventually invented cell phones.
That is nuts.
Because they didn't have those communicators. You still had, like, some areas you still picked up the phone, and you literally, like, when you picked up the phone, you automatically were contacting the operator.
Right.
And you'd be
Oh,
like,
that's
hey, give me
nuts.
such and such, right?
Right.
That was still an option to do. And that wasn't that long ago. Like, in the scheme of, like, our timelines, our current timeline is just like, changes, right?
Right. We're in a very small, point in Earth's lifespan. But think
Alrighty.
about the growth that we've made in
Yeah.
that short period of time.
And yet
Right
still DoorDash
this
can't
moment.
make it to my house.
Right this moment, right now, Harune's mouth is moving the air, which is turning into electronic signals going right into your ear holes. I almost said viewers, and I'm like, listeners? Viewers?
Listeners.
Listeners.
Viewing listeners. Listeners.
We're the podcasters, you're the podcastees.
There we
Right?
go.
Yes, perfect. Yeah,
Welcome, podcastees.
Can I just say, I'm a little whiplashed by the amount of character development we've had in the first episode. We've gone from snacks to like, yo, what if we saved the world with technology?
Technology.
I'm not gonna lie, it kind of feels like an anime movie that's going by way too fast. Like, I wasn't ready for this development in an hour and a half.
We're watching Promare right now.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm ready. Burnish, let's go. But the other thing is, the other hiccup on here, though, is with how fast technology is changing, when everything is changing, we overall haven't really had much time to adjust to things, right? Because, like, you can talk about, like, if you go to a friend's house, right? You know standard manners when you're at your friend's house. Depending on how close you are, if they've given you permission or not, you're not going to go up into their cupboard and, like, start taking stuff out, right?
True.
You'll usually, like, ask them to be like, oh, can I get a glass of water? Or if it's been, like, instilled in them, like, this is your proper behavior for when a guest comes over. Right?
Well,
you've probably experienced that in the past, right?
You've got more polite friends than I do, that's all I'll say.
I mean, okay, no, if I have, like, a really close friend, she comes into my house, she opens the fridge, okay?
Right.
But if it's, like, one of my parents' friends...
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of that one line. Can I get a spoonful of ice cream? It better be one big spoonful. Only one spoonful, and pulls out a really big spoon.
Yep. But, like, we've had that, and our families have had that, and, like, society overall has, like, had time to be like, this is the proper way that you act when someone comes into your home, right? As far as social media goes and online interactions go, we haven't had that society decision yet.
Right. Everything's still changing and still forming.
Yeah, everything is still, like, recently even, like, on Twitter, if you asked an artist, how do you feel about quote retweets? You should not quote retweet an artist on their picture.
I did not learn that until recently, too. I've been guilty of that sometimes.
But then you feel bad afterwards because you didn't know.
Right.
But part of that is we haven't, that is a societal rule. That hasn't quite made it across all of the areas yet. It's not in the terms and conditions. When you open up Twitter and you hit the quote retweet button, it doesn't say, are you sure you want to do that? This is an art piece and you're going to potentially make it so that people don't go back to that artist. It doesn't say that anywhere, right?
Right. You don't know until someone tells you.
Exactly. And for the same reason, like when someone comes into your house or you go over to someone else's house for the first time, you're generally not going to start helping yourself into the fridge because you already have that, like, instilled in you that this is rude.
Right.
I don't think any of us have probably ever been told when you've gone to somebody's house for the very first time, hey, please don't go into my cupboards.
Right. Although I have had to tell some kids who's come over for the first time, hey, don't go into my parents' room, which baffles me, but yeah. That's very true. That's very true. And I think it's because also it's a generational thing, right? Their parents taught our parents basic manners. Those manners then were instilled into our parents were then instilled into us, and we will probably instill those things in if and when we ever have children, or if that's you know what I mean, like that's
true.
That's a thing that's passed down, whereas like for us, we're the very first.
But here's the complication, Harune.
Yes.
How much of your online life is your family exposed to?
I guess that would depend, wouldn't it? Not very much. Not very much in terms of like social media interaction. Very little.
Right.
Very little. Right. They're still trying to figure out Windows 10.
Right?
Yeah.
So how with the speed of things changing, like with Facebook is now like the place where older generation hangs out kind of place, right?
Right.
As things change though, and there's different platforms with different rules, how do those societal rules get passed down? If it's a new rule book with each platform.
I think the only way would have to be being more active on that platform paying attention to what other people are doing.
Yeah.
You know, because if someone is bothered enough, they will be vocal about it on that platform, I assume.
Yeah.
And then you would learn that way, right?
At the same time,
yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, like, at the same time, these values are, they're determined by a person's own values. And not everyone is the same. They kind of just develop by who speaks up about it the loudest. Because, like, going back to that art example you mentioned about how it's like, don't quote retweet an artist, because when people see that quote retweet, they might not click back into the artist's profile.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, that would be something an artist is worried about if they wanted that kind of traffic specifically. Only people acknowledging their work on their Twitter. Whereas there could be artists who don't care where people see their art as long as their art is seen. If they have like a message they want to pass out in their art. For example, like the only goal they had was to spread, a bit of encouragement with their art. A quote retweet, even if they don't get the recognition for it, even if they don't get the little check mark for it, or the little like and stuff, like, it would give them peace of mind knowing that someone read their comic today, or someone saw their art today and felt encouraged. And also for the retweeter, what if a retweeter only wants to do the retweet when they have a way of expressing their feelings about the art? They do the quote retweet in order to tell other people, hey, look at this art I found and all the wonderful things I think about it, kind of thing. If we're saying don't quote retweet and we're not allowing them to express themselves, there may be some people who then choose, then I won't retweet it at all, I'll just give them the like, kind of thing. If I don't get to talk about it, I'll appreciate it in private. And then that becomes a layer of exposure that they no longer get because that person doesn't get to quote retweet. I don't think there's 100% right or wrong. It's just currently there is
ethical
a
dilemma,
general... Yeah, there's a general consensus. Enough people are loud enough in agreeing, hey, quote retweet is bad, that it's become the norm in the community. I'm an artist myself, so I'm not taking sides specifically. But it's like...
It's an ethical dilemma overall.
Yeah, that could very much change next week. If an artist influential enough makes a comment in the other direction and then manages to sway people's way of thinking, they'll be thinking, but quote retweets are pretty pogs. Maybe we should have some quote retweets.
Yeah, but what if someone was in a coma for 3 months and then this massive change happens? Now what? How are they supposed to know?
Guess
everything's been turned backwards.
Guess they're gonna have to learn. That's apparently something that that's a real experience that people... Guys, just no, not a coma. But I know this is an odd example, but this was actually because have any of you guys seen Shawshank Redemption?
Oh, I have not. Oh, but no, I do know the. Yes, I think I know what train of thought you're going on.
Right.
I
People
saw
who...
it when I was
yes,
really
go ahead.
Young. So, no, I was just going to say, I saw it when I was really young, and I remember select scenes from it. I don't remember the plot of the movie as a whole.
So this isn't the whole point of the movie, but it is sort of a topic that encourages discussion, and that's how those who have been incarcerated or away from society for a really long time, how they struggle to integrate back into the real world.
Yes. Yeah, that is a big problem.
And a lot of them can't, unfortunately. And that, girl, you bring up a good point. With the coma example, but something I guess a little bit more likely would be someone who's been serving time for a while.
Yeah, or just not able to get online access, right?
Right.
If so much of current modern day stuff is so tied with our generations to be like with online. We don't really have we don't have a way to like adopt people back in.
Right, like it's
when
just,
they're not able to, right?
Right, and you just have to have like the tenacity to fight through and kind of force yourself to learn and realize that you're probably going to be made a fool of along the way because you make mistakes, you know. But that's hard, and not everyone can stomach that.
Nope.
No, prison just needs like a societal onboarding program. Welcome back to society.
welcome to virtual society.
Course.
Here's the virtual welcome back to society VR version. Hello, I'm your host, Guilty. Today we're going to talk about the past changes in technology for the past 10 years in social media.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea though. Just like being like, while you've been away, these are the things that have happened.
It'll be like your Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Like here for throughout the every single year. This is what changed in 2015. This is what changed in 2016.
Right.
Please
we joke
hold
about
the
that,
image
but that would
if you
be
need
really
to read.
Helpful.
It would be actually.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be it's just gonna be kind words. You get out of prison and some paper airplanes fly by. It's just like, oh yeah, while you were out, someone sent you stickers, and this is what happened now. You know.
Aww.
That's right.
Apple owns Disney now or whatever. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. I think society is a really interesting topic to be like,
Huh.
Yeah.
But then if we have the brain chips and you can upload the information immediately, that would kind of just solve the problem, right?
That
Get out of
would. What if
prison,
everyone who
it's
was
like,
incarcerated
here's your
has
brain
the brain
chip.
chip? Yeah. And then
Here,
you're
upload
kept up
this.
to date. But
Also,
then
this,
oh, yes, go ahead.
This podcast is only available in brain chip format now.
Please install your brain chips in order to hear episode 1. This is episode 0.
Oh, that's another
You get a
thing,
discount.
too. Yes, you get a discount. That's another thing too, though. But because technology is always upgrading,
Yeah.
right, always improving and stuff. How often would you need to have the brain like the chip implant surgery, just to like keep up?
Man.
That's a lot.
I've only got the Alpha series for my brain chip, and they're coming out with the Delta series, and that's got all this bonus stuff, and it makes your active radius be like 200 kilometers. I'm only stuck with 50 kilometers. It's terrible.
Gotta get the brain chip XL, the brain chip Mini, the brain chip 2.
I've got the brain chip
Nano.
the brain chip TI because I live in a warm area, so that way I can handle some overclocking.
But like, how many times you'd have to go through that surgery and just to have like your head cut open constantly?
Oh, they better make it so that it's like.
It's gotta be just, like minimally invasive or something.
It? Okay. Here's dear listeners, don't get the brain chip until they make it so you can upgrade it with nanobots.
Yes.
Or then all you would need is like an injection, and then they put nanobots into you, and then things go horribly awry, and you turn into a supervillain, but you have nanobots.
But don't worry, we'll save the day.
We will save the day. VTuber power up.
Just wait till brain chip Note 3. They'll even throw in a nice stylus. I don't know what to do with it, but you'll get a nice stylus.
No, you can draw on people's faces in real life with AR because it's just affecting your brain only.
Yes.
Woo! You can make like notes on things, like walked past here. Though, oh my goodness! Imagine though if the brain chip eventually led to like eyeball chip, you would never lose anything ever again.
You know what? I'm gonna bring up something else too.
Yeah.
On that note, do either of you guys read webtoons?
I love
comics?
webtoons.
Okay. I have a friend who's a webtoon author.
Ooh.
I have one of those too.
Sugoi. You'll have to tell me their comics later so I can read them. But
Yeah.
there's
Yes.
one that's been pretty popular for a while. I mean, popular. I guess it's. Well, I'll just leave it at that. But the comic is called Space Boy.
Okay.
It's sci-fi with a little bit of romance, but so this girl lives in a colony in outer space, like on a spaceship. But due to, I don't know if it was some sort of accident or they were downsizing with employees for the job that her father was doing, they had to be relocated to Earth.
Okay.
But to send them from the space colony to Earth, they were put in a cryogenic sleep, and it takes 30 years for them to get to Earth. So 30 years have passed. She's made it to Earth. Now there's these things. I think they're called like, oh shoot, I forgot what they're called, but they're basically glasses. Mm-hmm. You wear glasses, but it's exactly what you described, girl. Like it's like you can draw things, you can choose to change your avatar. It's AR, but it's instead of affecting your brain directly and affecting your eyeballs directly, it's through these glasses. And so you can record what you see, and the memory is saved in the glasses. You can draw things and write things and things like that, and it's saved into the glasses.
I want those. So. Forget the brain chip. I want those.
I'd prefer it being wearable too, rather than invasive surgery. Yeah.
Right, because you can choose whether you want to be in it or not.
But also, I could play Pokemon.
True.
Can I roll gacha games in my glasses, please?
You probably could. It's really interesting. So guys, check out the webcomic Space Boy.
Yeah.
Are we shilling our friends on Webtoons now?
No, this isn't even a friend of mine. This was just a comic that a friend had recommended, but Harune, I don't actually know.
Would you like to be friends with the person that started it?
Absolutely. He also addresses a lot of good like mental health things.
Oh, nice.
In the comic, so I would love to be friends with them.
There you go. There's the first step right here.
There you go. I'm supporting you.
We're supporting you.
I thought Girl DM was just gonna drop the bomb. It's like, oh, that was the friend she was talking about.
Oh no, mine does a different webcomic.
Yeah. I'm sorry to disappoint. Mine does a different one too.
I'm sorry, Harune. I don't know the creator.
No, that's okay. And the art style is so unique. It's pretty interesting. It's very very Western, but very unique.
Okay.
But yeah. So, any closing thoughts? This has been a really insightful episode 0. It's kind of amazing.
So snacks.
It's been an hour and a half already, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah. That was pretty fun. Delved into quite a few topics there. I think that was fun.
And I know for this episode we're pre-recording it.
Yes, we're pre-recording it.
For the listeners and viewers, like in the coming episodes, after I guess they'll be like watching this after it's like because it's pre-recorded. Right. But we're trying to figure out how we're going to handle viewer interaction in the coming like episodes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because we may or may not be streaming future episodes, and if so, we'll also be uploading them onto YouTube and or possibly iTunes. We might be opening an external account on like Curious Cat or Marshmallow, or some way for viewers to write into us that we will read during the episodes, as opposed to reacting to stream chat. We're still thinking about it. We don't know how we're going to do it exactly yet, but just so y'all know, in the future there will be chances for everyone to write in, and we could be taking viewer topics or viewer input on things.
Yes.
Right.
Or maybe even like Q&A if you've got any questions for our lovely hosts here, Harune and Girl DM,
and Kai.
If you're bored enough to write to
lovely.
me. I guess if you're bored enough to write to me, kind of thing. So yeah.
Or even if you are a viewer and this is kind of like a first look at VTubers overall, and you have like questions about this general existence on the internet, I'm open to those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, we're episode 0, so we're molding and morphing every step of the way, right? We have no
Mighty Morphin GHK.
We have no set format, right? Like this was,
we're pretty free flowing when it comes to it for the time.
Yeah, for time. Yes. Not for our rhymes though. We don't have free flowing rhymes.
I
don't have sick beats either. I can't rap.
Unlucky.
I mean, I'm hoping our viewers and our listeners had fun in the last hour and a half. I had a lot of fun talking about it.
I did too. Very thought-provoking stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah, it went by a lot faster than I thought it would for now.
It sure did. Oh, also maybe we should add that this will not even be a weekly thing. It will be a bi-weekly thing. So we will be either streaming or strictly recording or simultaneously doing both once every 2 weeks. So that will give viewers and listeners time to put in questions, comments, anything like that, for us to read them through and for us to also prepare for upcoming, for the upcoming show. So,
yes.
I also, because I think 2 weeks is plenty of time for new things to crop up, new topics to discuss. Sometimes if it's once a week and, it's all three of us trying desperately to find something to talk about, we're more likely to overlap or to talk about something that's already happened, or you know what I mean? Like the topics aren't as fresh.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And also remember, all three of us do have our own individual streams on Twitch. So if you do want to interact with us more and see more of our individual content, you should definitely check all of us out on Twitch too.
You stream on Twitch? Oh my god, are you the famous girl _DM _ of Twitch.tv fame?
I'm gonna leave this call.
No, I mean you.
Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe Twitch.tv / girl _ DM _
And also to Harune.
And Nemurenai Kai. So the G, H, the K, the girl, the Harune, the Kai. All of us. Yes. All of us have our own.
Click the links below. Unless you're an audio listener, then you're out of luck.
If you're an audio listener, you're a little bit hooped, but there's usually a little bit of a description box thing. You'll get there eventually. Don't worry about it.
You'll find your way to us.
Figure us out.
You can find it. You can do it.
Yes.
Also, can I just say, I'm really upset by the fact that bi-weekly could mean twice a week or every other week.
Yeah,
I've never
English
heard
is
it as
fun.
twice a week, though.
I have.
I have.
So this means every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming, the both of you, and for our viewers and listeners for taking the time out of their day to listen to us rant and ramble. And yeah, once again, any final English is hard. Any final closing thoughts, or should we それでは皆さん here?
Have a great 2 weeks until we see you again.
Yeah. それでは皆さん. Yes, Kai.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, and that's basically what I wanted to say too. Yeah, see you all again see you all in streams, but see you all again on GHK Radio in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And maybe if someone has any jingle suggestions for our radio, I would love to hear some suggestions.
Submit jingle suggestions. Otherwise, I'm gonna make us have John Cena.
Kiko, man, Kiko.
I'm gonna disconnect.
それでは皆さん.
You're the one who showed me Kiko, man. What do you mean?
それでは皆さん.
またね.
Bye bye.